Cool. If anybody has questions below, type them down. Let us know, but we'll get started. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, man.
Do you want to roll introduction or do you want me to?
So, for my followers or for his followers, Mr. The Real Pete Kirkwood, my name is Fernando Carl. I'm a Southern California real estate professional. Been in the industry for 3 years now, but not to get too deep into my introduction. Introduce yourself to my followers.
Hey guys, I'm The Real Pete Kirkwood. I'm from New Zealand. I'm a life coach who specializes in rewiring your brain so you can think in a way which gives you more in life, more of whatever you want. So on this one, we're talking about, can you have freedom without money? Is it possible? Start with your thoughts, Fernando. What do you think about freedom and money? How would you even start to define that?
Totally. So I would, if for the viewer watching, I would put a distinction between what is freedom to you and what does money mean to you, right? Right? Because if we now start to place them together, right? Now that puts us in a bubble, right? If we put freedom and money together. See, most people believe that you can only achieve freedom with a certain dollar amount, right? People usually identify or seek to chase $1 million, $2 million to feel free, right? But in reality, what does that mean? What does freedom even mean to the person or the viewer watching? I mean, what does freedom mean to you?
That's a good question. For a long time, freedom meant financial freedom,
Right?
That ability to be able to have the money to do whatever you want. And I can't tell you exactly when that changed for me, but over time I realized that the money to have whatever you do what you want, if you didn't believe you could do it, if you didn't have the relationships to achieve it, if you didn't have a whole bunch of other things in your life, money didn't make you free.
Right.
So it couldn't be the only part. And freedom is a whole concept and money is a tiny piece. I think people overemphasize the importance of money and underemphasize the importance of freedom. Does that make sense?
Totally, totally. Now, for the person watching, I mean, for me, ultimately, was this idea of what money and freedom was to me. We're always seeking, we're taught to believe that, we got to seek the money, we got to chase the money, which is right. That's the greatest, or one of the greatest resources or powers in the universe, right? Money, right? You cannot go eat that meal that I'm hungry right now. We can't have that meal, you cannot drive your car, or you cannot wear the items that you want to wear without money, right? So money is very, very important. It is, it's what creates life and in our existence to continuously run. However, freedom, and identify what freedom is to you, right? For me to operate in my day-to-day life, right? It doesn't involve, I have to start with me. So every day, now I'm starting to implement that spiritual practice, and that alone is now freeing me to do what I need to do in my life, in my day-to-day. So for those of you watching, I'm a real estate professional. Now, if I was confined by the idea of money, let's say I look at my bank account and my bank account's not at where I want it to be, right? Who's this, right? Really, right? I know a lot of multi-million dollar people. However, I know that their money is always being used. Money is an energy. Money is a resource that needs to be continuously used, right? You have to put money out to the universe and play with it, right? The minute we start to, hold on or to try to keep every dollar in, right, we start to put ourselves in that confinement. Now, that's not the ultimate freedom. Imagine that person. We're always taught, save your money, put your money away. Don't use your money, save it for a rainy day, right? That alone is, it holds someone.
It's a limiting mindset. It's a limiting belief. If you try to gather that money in, it's exactly the same. I did a lecture on fear last night. It's you're bottling it in, and it doesn't feel good.
Totally.
Holding on to that money, it traps you. It feels good because I got 10 grand in the bank account. I am sweet ass. Now that is the trap, because you feel like you're safe because you have money to fall back on. But the thing is, if you start to become complacent in your everyday life with what you're doing, 10 grand ain't gonna last long. It doesn't matter if it's 10 million. You hold it and you're storing up that karmic energy. Where's it going? What's it doing for you? You don't grow from hoarding it. It doesn't grow. You have to invest it. You have to spend it. If you truly believe in a life of abundance, which is a lot closer to the definition of freedom, that there is enough, you have enough, relationships, love, money, power, freedom, if you have enough, then why can't you spend your money?
Right.
Because if there's enough of it and you're making more of it, you should be like, yeah, let's spend it. And I feel that a lot of people make that mistake where they focus so much on financial success. The reason I call my program Successful As is because it's whatever you want to define success as. A lot of people define it as money, and that's cool. If you just want to learn how to make money, I know you can definitely teach people about that. I can help people with that, but it's more than that. I've known people in my life who are very financially successful who said, isn't this what you want? And I said to them, it's not. If I get to your point in life, and like your age in life, and I'm sitting exactly with your life, I consider myself a failure because I don't like your relationships. I don't like your friendships. I don't like the love you have. I see the loneliness in you. All of those things scream to me that you're not free, you're trapped. Even if it's in your own mind, right?
Totally.
How do you feel about that?
That's right on the button, man. 100%. Listen, I mean, not to reference, multimillionaires by all means, shit. We all want to be multimillionaires. But at the same time, it's defining what freedom is to you.
Yeah.
Freedom to me is having solid relationships, having strong networks, being around people like yourself, having great relationships, and at the same time, freedom within yourself. Freedom to wear the fuck what you want. Freedom to speak what you want.
Sure.
Right? Because a lot of the times, especially in a professional industry, you're a professional, I'm a professional, we are confined to a certain limit, right? Into what we can express, what we can wear, what we can say on social media, on fucking, it doesn't matter, right? People put us on this category of, oh, you're a professional. I have a story once. When I first got started in the real estate industry, there was this older guy, he's been a veteran in the real estate game.
Oh yeah.
And he saw that I had earrings on. He actually told me, he's like, if you want to be successful in this industry, understand, you don't have to listen to me, but if you take off your earrings, more people would respect you, right? That right there was a limiting belief in his life. However, in my life, that wasn't applicable because I still wear dangling fucking earrings, and I still go out and communicate with the world so free. And that freedom, that level of expression of freedom, allows me to capture more people. Because now, as I go through life, I communicate. That's what I do all day, communicate. And this is the art that we practice, is communication.
Phenomenally. Yeah.
And totally, to me, the ability to communicate and express yourself is the ultimate freedom. Now, the topic is, can you attain, or how can you have freedom without money? Now, go over what we've just done. Look, you're in fucking America. Tell the people right now where you're from and that story. That's a tremendous story.
Okay, well, just before I touch on me coming from New Zealand, about your earrings.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I can exactly see the freedom for you to wear that has actually given you more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like attention, it makes you stand out,
Totally.
and that is what's important in a real estate
Totally.
game. So when Fernando turns his head, his earring shakes around, your eye goes, what's that? As a human beings, we're genetically wired to look for that thing.
Right.
So I'm saying like, well shit, you're going to get way more attention than him because they're going to remember the guy with the dangly earring over the guy with that one.
Right.
That limiting belief is what stops a lot of people. The laws of human social dynamics that govern how we interact as human beings and the communication we share is so deep and so fundamental that when you understand them and apply them, things like you can't be successful in real estate without earrings don't make sense. You can't be successful in America if you're not from here. I've heard people go, oh, you go to America, it's not going to work for you.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't understand. I just don't even listen to those kind of people.
Totally.
And when I was in a position, I was looking to increase my coaching business. I was working a regular job selling cars. I did very well because of my communication ability and my sales skills. And I was always looking to help people. So I lost a lot of sales because I didn't want to sell people the wrong car.
Right.
But I got a lot extra sales because people referred people and they came back 7, 8, 9 times looking for the right vehicle because they knew they could trust me.
Right.
And that communication is what allowed me to be good at it. But when I wanted to increase my coaching business, I arranged to move into a smaller house. I arranged to get a part-time job so I would have the time to devote to growing my business. Then the house fell over, which relied on the job, and the whole thing fell over, and I ended up with no job and no home. I ended up homeless, and obviously I had very little income coming in, so I was heading towards broke. That's the kind of situation where people would feel not free.
Right, they would like, oh, tense up.
The universe is closing on me, right? Yeah. My money's running out, like, oh, what am I going to do?
Contract.
Exactly. And I remember packing my shit into my car, the last of it, driving off from my house, and being like, right, who knows where I'm going to sleep tonight? And I got on the phone and I made some arrangements. And I said to myself, you know what? There's going to be opportunity out there. Because I'm now mobile and traveling the world, I can find it there. And if I have to sleep in my car, who gives a fuck, right? Who cares?
Gives a shit.
Yeah. I never once had to sleep in my car. Not once. I was homeless for a couple of months. Never once had to sleep in my car. Always someone would be more than willing to provide me with somewhere to stay.
Fuck yeah.
And that's freedom in the fact that I was free enough in my mind and my beliefs to go out there and, hey, look, you know, I know I'm a nice person. I know I have a lot to contribute. That anyone who sits down and has a chat to me, I'm going to be able to help them feel a lot better and change things in their life. Even if it's my friends are more than happy for me to stay because they get a good conversation out of it.
Totally.
Equal exchange.
Oh yeah.
Always you've got to be giving something to get something, and the more you give, the freer you become.
Oh yeah.
And eventually that turned into me getting to America to start and launch my coaching business, meet my mentor, Arash Bazal, he is the foremost authority on human social dynamics. Honestly, if you want to understand how to communicate with people, you've got to get a hold of him before he's unavailable. Because he's going to become unavailable. And it was through him that I met Fernando.
Yeah.
Which was fantastic because when you get yourself around quality people, they introduce you to quality people. Which again gives you more options, which translates to more freedom.
More freedom. Yeah.
You know, what was your experience with that?
Man, exactly that. You know, in my life, in my short life of 22 years, right, I've positioned myself in a manner where I go straight to the top people in whatever industry that I seek out.
Right.
And I build relationships with, you know, the strongest in real estate or the strongest in business, the strongest in social dynamics and relationships. I've always seeked out, you know, the top tier people because of the people that also study under them, right?
Yeah.
It's like an umbrella. Flip it around and you put the top. The top is the teacher and the bottom are all the students. And it's just a circle, a sphere of great students, great people that can empower you to move forward. Now that alone is a freedom, but back to the common denominator of what we're saying about, it's all a mind thing, right? It's about the belief that we have within ourselves, ultimately. Because what really confines us is the bullshit ideas from the outside.
Yeah.
Right? The guy telling me, don't wear earrings, you won't make it a sale. If I believe his bullshit for 1 second, for a fraction of a second, I've already confined myself and I believe that now I can't make a sale with these fucking earrings. It was totally bullshit, right? Absolutely. So what are the ideas or what are the thoughts that people are passing along to you that trap you?
Yeah.
And that's why it's important to be around people who are free, who believe themselves as free, who can now operate and maneuver through life without this confinement, this limiting belief, this idea that they can't do this, they can't do that, they can't achieve this amount of success, or they're just not resourceful.
Right. And what you said about they have the idea, like that's the thing that you have to get, is it's the ideas that you hold in your head that will carry you through life and dictate how it works for you, right? Going back to the simple analogy, the idea about the earrings completely changes your life with regards to how you style yourself and how you feel about your image. It makes such a difference, and it's so minor that no one would even think of extrapolating out what kind of effect that would have. So, like you said, you get around people with a higher quality of ideas, and ideas are very contagious. They are very contagious.
Like rapid fire.
Rapid fire. You know, the subject for this is, can you have freedom without money? How? Right? That was an idea. I was discussing that with Brian Casella, and he said, well, how's about that for a title? because you're looking for the right idea that when someone reads those words,
Mm-hmm.
they will go, that's an idea that I'm interested in.
Totally.
And it's so infectious. And what I've learned is that when you really test your ideas and you take them to the limit and you, well, okay, if that's true, then how does it apply to this and what does this happen? And you look for all of the extrapolation, you end up with very strong ideas, very strong mindset that enables you to be more free and to connect with better people and change your life how you want it to be. Because when you know what the rules are, you know how much further you can go, and you know when to stop. Not only do you have to know how hard to go, you also know how when to stop.
Right.
And people always underdo it or overdo it. It's so common in life.
Oh yeah.
And when it comes to money, man, people are trying to save with the wrong attitude about it. They're spending it with the wrong attitude about it. They're not balanced in the way they treat it. They don't respect it well enough. Would you agree?
Totally, 100%. And we see that a lot, right? We see the person, I'm in the business world, right? I know a lot of multimillionaires. However, there's this facade, this picture that's painted a lot, right? Especially with social media and especially seeing the online presence. We constantly get bombarded with the successes of people, right? And this itself can delude a lot of the minds, a lot of the viewers of people watching, because now they get this insecurity and they feel that they can't achieve this because this person is now painting this picture, right? I know I personally felt like that, and I'm sure you felt like that, based on this facade of really how people are living, right? But when you get into it, when you actually live in that world, when you actually see it firsthand, you start to realize, the money is only a small fragment of what freedom is, right? It's such a small fragment because, that person who's making $5 million but spending $6 million has all the shit, but where's their freedom? They're trapped.
And by the same token, if they're working 150 hours a week, to get that $6 million, they don't have any freedom in their life. A lot of people who, even at a less extreme example, people like doctors, they make a great six-figure salary and they work 70 hours a week.
Right.
They don't get a life.
Right.
All of their time goes towards making that money, and then they've got a brief fraction left to live their life. A lot of people who make it as a doctor, it's not about the money, it's about the fact that they can help people.
There you go.
The money's the reward for the help that they give. People who get into industries chasing the money very rarely succeed.
There you go.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I bet money was a factor in real estate for you, but what was it that really captured you about real estate?
What's very interesting, I actually had an experience this moment today.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, totally, right. It was coming back, when I first got started in real estate, it was 100% about money, right? I was a college student, very broke, parents were divorcing, and this was a moment where I needed to become a man, put myself in a position where I can now make some money, right?
That's cool. Yeah, I like that.
There's no way I can live my life being broke and not having any money. There's just no way, right? But at the same time, as I got started in the industry, I struggled in the beginning, right? Chasing money. And a result of that, I didn't enjoy the experience of going out and communicating with the world. I didn't enjoy the idea of going out and knocking on doors. I didn't enjoy the idea of calling people. I felt that I was the burden. I started to feel the ideas of what other people were saying to me were me, right?
Gotcha.
And so now, as I continue to progress and studied and surrounded myself with this level of freedom of higher, better thinkers, I now, today, exactly, I was going door to door and I felt this feeling of just straight bliss. And then it just got so grateful in the sense that I really get paid thousands of dollars to communicate and solve problems. That idea was freedom. That idea is freedom. It's not about how much commission they're giving me. It's not about chasing the dollars. Yes, that comes by byproduct of my services, by my communication, right?
By your value.
By my value, exactly. And so now, I feel like I'm just getting started with my business. Right? Now there's this level of freedom where I can now give myself more because now I'm searching with myself.
I love that.
These ideas are what chain people in. The ideas of, attaching freedom with money.
Yeah.
Right? That in itself can confine someone and their mind. It's just your ideas, the exchange, and the communication you have with yourself. And the minute you can now find joy in what you do, in your progress, in your communication, you start to have fun with it. You start to roll with it. And now I can go door to door. Now I can call the people on the phone with this level of freedom that now I'm literally giving my value out to people.
You're not chasing them for money in business. You're saying, hey, look, how can I help you?
How can I help you?
And it makes such a difference when you genuinely communicate that across, because it's the little things. Like, I would bet if someone followed you around with a camera watching how you do a real estate deal compared to your average real estate agent, they would find that so many little things that you do to provide value back to the customer that makes it way more worth it for them and gives them such a great experience as opposed to the person who's in it for the money.
100%.
Am I correct?
100%. And I've had this experience. I'm helping a couple homeowners right now.
Yeah.
And the fact that they thank you for being the guy that's there to help them, the fact that they don't have this uncertainty, right? That is this guy going to do us wrong? You know, we've had bad agents before, right? That they thank you. They're grateful that you're their agent. That alone is worth that feeling. That's what we're chasing. That's that freedom that we're seeking, right? You can have these experiences without, you know, the freedom of without having money, right? That is freedom.
Hugely. And I mean, like, it's interesting because the way you talk about it is how I feel about it. We're in a different industry, right? You're dealing with homes, I'm dealing with people's minds and their future. But the way my clients say, you know, thank you so much for helping me with this and what you've done and everything you help with, like, it changes their life. It gives them such benefit and such value that that's what I want to provide. Now, how are we going for time? Oh, we're doing okay. I want to grab a couple of questions.
Yeah, let's see if they have questions.
What's on there? Looks like we've got some people who want some help from God with their money.
Oh, shit.
Good luck, mate. And that wasn't going any further. How would you reason authentic humility? Interesting subject. We could speak about that briefly.
Your brother said, yo, boys.
Is that on the right?
Yeah, that's right there.
Angle?
Right on target.
Okay. Briefly discuss that, but look, we've spoken a lot about what freedom is and what money is and what they mean, how they interact. I want to give some how, right? How can you have freedom without money? And how can you have more money and more freedom? Because at the end of the day, money is important, right? Now, we both have a lot of things you can reach out to us for our help programs and things we can help you with. So we're not going to get too deep into it, but I want to give someone something. So when it comes from your perspective, what would be some advice you'd give people on how to get both money and freedom?
Money and freedom, totally. First, it starts with you, right? Anything that you do in this world is going to start with you. You have to take complete 100% responsibility for the outcome of your life and for yourself. You know, for me, I knew personally I couldn't perform out there in the world if I was a mess, if I was incongruent with myself, right? So be real with yourself. Taking 100% responsibility in what the fuck you're doing in your life right now, right? How can you expect to have money if you're incongruent with the laws of money? So first and foremost, I would study money. Now, that in itself will give you a level of freedom with money. You start to learn how to use it. You learn to respect it. You learn not to abuse it and overspend. And at the same time, you know not to hoard it too much. You got to use it. It flows like anything, right? Good conversation flows, right? Money flows. It's a balance of how you treat it. It's a relationship with it. But that relationship needs to be nurtured with thyself, right? That's where you first start. That element, once you can start to become in alignment with yourself, but again, it's going to be how do I become in alignment with myself? You know, and it's become trial and error in everything that you do. Put some more challenges in front of you, right? Do some things that stretch you out, make you a bigger person. Because when you start to stretch yourself out, your world and the little things, little problems that were once holding you captive, now start to become very fucking small. They become little pea brain problems.
You're absolutely right.
You
become bigger.
You become bigger than the problem, right? So it's a matter of how much can we grow as a person to become bigger than the problems, the conditions that we're confined by.
Absolutely.
Right? And once you can become bigger than the conditions, I mean, obviously, we all have certain sets of conditions, right? And they're not always the greatest. I've been through shit, right? I've been through literally shit. But at the same time, I knew that this was a small fraction of my life, that I was a lot bigger in retrospect to whatever conditions life put me under.
Hugely. Yeah. Yeah, like I get exactly what you're saying. You have to always have challenges and things in front of yourself to challenge yourself to grow. The number one thing that I think you really need to keep in mind, like that you need to keep in your mind when you're thinking about you want more money, is what can you give, right? It's a world of equal exchange. You're not going to get money if you don't give anything in return. If you're thinking I'm going to become a happy, successful, rich, wonderful person with a great life and a millionaire and everything from winning the lottery, what the fuck did you give for that? You don't deserve it. So many lottery winners can't hold on to their winnings.
No.
Internally, they don't deserve it, right? They don't feel they deserve it in their own head, let alone how the world judges them. How the hell could they hold on to it? It's not going to last. So if you want it to come to you, what can you give? What can you give somebody else that's of enough value that they want to give you their money? That's
it, 100%. And it could be the smallest exchange, right?
Absolutely.
It could be a fucking smile that makes someone's day better. It could be that grocery person that you talk to, you know, small conversation. In your day-to-day places, where you go consistently, your gym, your grocery stores, you know, your shopping centers, treat people with this good aura, right? Treat them with this respect, like they're actually somebody. When you walk by somebody, treat them like there's a person right next to you. This exchange of awareness will now start to reciprocate with time, right? But then you have to realize, again, it starts with you, being aware that you are here too, that you are living your life, that you are capable of exchanging value with people. It can be in your energy, it could be in your time, it could be money, it can be an expression, it can be advice, right? We're exchanging.
phenomenally. Absolutely. You know, the more value you give, you're stacking karma in your favor.
Totally.
Right? Einstein said E equals mc squared. The universe is made up of energy. All matter is just condensed energy. It's all energy. Emotions, energy and motion. So if you're putting out a huge amount of value, right, eventually it stacks up that karma owes you. It's got to come back to you somehow.
Oh yeah.
You know, and that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to open your mailbox and there's going to be a check in it. But to talk about how the universe works is beyond the scope of this lecture. Check out some of our other stuff.
Yogi Chris can talk about that.
I like hearing you guys talk about it.
But I think, what are we coming up to? About the 25-minute mark.
If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them below.
Yeah,
we got about 5 more minutes, so let me check.
Good old check all of the
I got a few people on here.
equipment.
No audio? What?
Okay.
There's no audio on my shit?
Might be no audio on theirs.
I think that's fine right there.
How would you reason authentic humility? I do want to discuss that, but not on this video. I'll do another one.
Any questions?
Okay, so no questions jumping
I
out.
guess starting out with,
What would you wrap up?
you know, what I would wrap up with is, for the person, you know, seeing your life, seeing where you are, what thoughts do you entertain in your day-to-day life, right? The minute you wake up, where's the exchange coming with yourself, right? What thought is pondering on your mind? What's the first thing you think about the minute you wake up? Do you roll over your bed, look at your social media, and, you know, exchange this negative energy to the world, right? That now you're this fucked up person and you move through life just shitting on everybody? Like, think about the level of karma that's going to come back to you, right? So being aware of how I present myself, express myself to the world, simple smile, simple laughter, a simple exchange of attitude will already transform your life. Be aware of how you're expressing yourself, because you're always expressing yourself. Whether you're taking a shit or going door to door, you're always expressing yourself in whatever the universe is looking at down.
You are exactly right. You're exactly right. I guess I would say in terms of what simple things you can take away. Freedom is a choice. It comes from within, right? Like if you choose to be free, only your thoughts and your decisions can take that choice away from you. If someone is acting towards you in a way that you don't like, it is your choice how you respond to that, which is your freedom. Don't ever forget that you have the choice and you have the power to make those decisions and make those actions. It doesn't matter about where you grew up, what color your skin is, like
what people say to you, what fucking ideas.
Yeah, any of that shit. None of that shit matters unless you choose to let it affect you, which is your freedom. Don't be so willing to give up your freedom for somebody else's temporary respect.
Totally.
It's not worth it.
That's it right there. And then once you can understand these laws of exchange, the laws of how you express yourself, and it starts within. It starts with you. Right.
It certainly does.
And the minute you understand these principles and live by them in your day-to-day life, you will start to see, the world work towards you, work for you, not against you this time.
It really does. It really does.
And then now you can start making some money. This is when you can totally start making money.
Yeah.
Right? And then it becomes fruitful, it becomes enjoyable, and now you start to live better conditions. And I'll leave it at that.
Can I do that? Yeah, I reckon that about sums it up. So,
Alright, cool.
no worries. Check us out on social media. I'm at The Real Pete
Follow
Kirkwood on Instagram.
The Real Pete Kirkwood from New Zealand.
Is it Fern_?
Ferncarl_.
Ferncarl_ for Instagram, and Fernando Caro Facebook, Pete Kirkwood on Facebook. Check out our YouTubes.
Yeah.
And now hit every social media button.